Hello and welcome to today's Live Lounge. We're going to be talking all about making friends at university and how friends can help you how university can help you make friends for life. My name's Darren. I work at the university, but I studied here. I studied film and television and graduated in 2014. And I'm going to pass you over to my co-host, Mark.
Thanks, Darren. Hi, everyone. My name's Mark. I studied here in 2013 to 2016. I did audio production, which I think is now called music production. And I'm also working here, as Darren said he is as well. And I think to start with, I'm just going to go over what we'll cover today, and then I'll introduce our colleague, Georgia. So we've set today's live lounge into 3 different sections. So we'll all discuss our experience and share any advice and tips that we can as we go through that. Hi, Morgan, hope you're okay. We'll also, after that, go into the Friends for Life system as well, which I'm going to be asking Darren all about because he'll lead on that. And then to finish, we'll discuss all things about the Students' Union. Hi, Holly, hope you're all right. So before I basically go on to say who Georgia is and what she does, I just want to quickly remind everyone, as you are doing, which I can see it popping up, to ask any questions or say hello in the comments. That's absolutely fine. Let us know where you're watching from, and it will make sense later, but please pop in the comments as well. Which course, say you've applied for, you're thinking of applying for, it will make sense in the Friends for Life section. But Georgia, hi, how are you? You okay?
I'm good, thank you. I studied history 2016 to 2019, and I now work at the Students' Union, so I'll be able to give you some insight into the stuff that we do and all the things you can get involved in there, like Mark said at the end.
Brilliant, thank you very much. I'll be making some notes as well. So that's really it for what today's all about. So we'll kick off with the first section, which is talking about our own experience and any advice that we can share. So Darren, I'll hand over to you to lead on that.
Yeah, I guess I wanted to kickstart the discussions with like our own experiences, because we all studied here. We were all in the same boat as well when we applied for university and eventually moved here, because we're all probably quite nervous. And it's the first time you move away from home. You're probably leaving all your friendship groups behind. So it's actually quite scary. The university have lots of ways we can help you, which we'll go through in this talk. But I think we should share some of our experiences. For me, moving away from home, I was a little bit nervous, but I probably wasn't as nervous until I actually got here, and then I was like, "Whoa, I don't know anyone." But straight away, you meet new people in your flat, and if you're really lucky, you do make friends for life. I certainly did. There's people that I still speak to today that I met in the first week of university, whether it was in my flat or in your course as well, because you meet lots of people on your course. So what was it like for you, Mark, when you first arrived?
Yeah, thanks. So I don't think I mentioned at the beginning, but I was a little bit older, so I was 22 when I went to uni, so I was a bit nervous about that, but that was absolutely fine. And if I do say so myself, I think I passed for like an 18, 19-year-old. But yeah, I do relate to what you were saying. It was a bit daunting. It could be a bit scary thinking about it, but at the time, and before you get ready to go to uni. But once I was at university, it was actually fine, because I think you said earlier, we're all in the same situation. So I was surrounded by hundreds or maybe thousands of other students, that were basically in a new city, a new location, a new type of education, people that they didn't know. But from the very start, there were things in place, which I know we'll go on to in more detail in a moment, that sort of like helped kickstart making friends at uni. So it was really, really good. And I think best thing, as I said already, some top tips. Remember, everyone's in the same situation. I think also, I don't know about you, Darren, but I think staying open-minded as well. I mean, I guess it depends what kind of transition you've gone through, because I went from quite a small town. So, I mean, I think also, sorry, just to say, have faith in yourself, guys. Be as self-confident as you feel you can, and believe in yourself, really, because it is scary, but it's so great when you finally start.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. Be open-minded, because you are going to meet so many different people, and that's great. Like, variety is the spice of life, isn't it? You meet so many different people, and I've met people that I never thought I'd meet, and probably wouldn't meet if it wasn't for university. So it's by pushing us all together, it's quite difficult to not make friends. Personally, I thought. But what was your experience like, Georgia?
So I was really nervous, but I had literally been packed ready to go like 3 weeks before my leaving date for uni. I think my dad was starting to get worried I was taking the dog, the kitchen sink, and everything. So my room was just full of boxes. But I moved in the week before, kind of freshers and things like that, because my accommodation kind of let us in a bit early. So I was quite nervous because a lot of the students I lived with didn't come till later. But I think the second day, or even the evening after I'd like moved in, made my bed, all that kind of stuff, I messaged in my course group chat. I studied history, and I ended up meeting a girl that I've been friends with ever since. So my literally first night, I made a friend that I will consider a friend forever. And we then also, in our like first week of actual classes, we went on a treasure hunt together, which sounds really silly, but in history, there's so much history around Lincoln. So one of the things that they do is they give you like a kind of like a treasure map, and you have to follow and like fill in the blanks of the questions.
So cool.
Yeah, there's so many like little pockets of history that you don't necessarily see, and then we all just got to wander around the city and do that. So
that's so good. You know, I did something similar, and I'll talk about it in a moment if you like, but hope you don't mind me jumping in. I just wanted to say for Hannah Pywell in the comments there, so don't worry about that. We're going to go over Friends for Life in a moment, and that should hopefully help you connect with others on your course. So we will cover that in a moment. But as I said, guys, post your courses in the comments. That's great for the ones that have. But you've just reminded me, we did something, I think it was called like Link Dog or something, because my course was creative. It was in the School of Film and Media, and basically I had to connect with loads of people, you know, I didn't know, but they were new on the course as well, and create a short film, go around Lincoln, speak to the public, get to know the city, and then we had to host it in the LPAC on the massive screen in the theatre there, and it was a competition. You know, we didn't win, but it was so cool because we hit so many different areas that you'd want to hit, like for living in a new city, if that made sense. And it really pushed us to like make friends and get to know people. So I can relate to what you were saying there, Georgia. I think it's really smart.
Yeah, that's a great point actually about your core group work in general, because that's another way the university really does help you to meet new people and make friends. I'm still friends with some of the people I did group works with, and especially in film and TV or media, you know, you do lots of group projects together, and it does help you to develop a bond. Just got a question as well from Morgan. Do you meet your roommates for a group before you move in? Well, we'll talk a little bit more about this later down the line in the next section. But we probably all had to manually find and search for our flatmates on various social media accounts. But our Friends for Life initiative does make that a little bit easier for you. So we do have platforms available, which we'll go through in the next section. So keep watching to find out to hear more about that. But speaking about sort of flatmates, there's when you do move to university, the first people you'll meet is probably going to be your flatmates, and there's lots of ways you can sort of become friends with them. Lots of tips and stuff. I like to think bring a card game or something to break the ice, because if you're slightly introverted or something, you just might not want to have a one-on-one conversation with new people, but you might want to play them or something. Flat meals are also a great idea. Everyone loves a flat meal.
Yeah, I was going to say, when you said game, I think a drinking game is probably the most likely thing, isn't it? Let's face it.
Yeah, that's true. And if you're not cooking the flat meal, you've got to wash up the flat meal. So remember that one. But Georgia, is there any other thoughts or tips, or even just about your experience that you might have learned from meeting your flatmates for the first time and trying to develop a friendship with them?
Yeah, so I moved into a 12-person flat, and we'd a lot of us had managed over like the week before we moved in to find each other. So I think we discovered like 8 of us that were living together, and then there was 4 like unknown people. And obviously Facebook as well, like you don't always look exactly like your profile picture depending on how old it is. So we kind of walked in on moving day, and everyone that was like seeing each other was just like looking like, "Are you?" like Lily? But which was quite fun. And I think probably my main tip is it's very easy, I think, especially if you are a bit introverted. When I started uni, I was so nervous to like meet new people in that sense, and especially the fact that you go from living with your family or whatever your living situation is to living with 11 strangers. One thing I really pushed myself to do was when everyone else had started to move in, I'd just kind of wander down to the kitchen, and even if it was to go like get some water, get a snack, I'd wander past, and everyone had kind of consciously decided to keep their doors open so that if someone did wander past, you could say hi quickly. And had a little listen out, wait for the parents to disappear, and then went in with the card games, with cider and all that kind of stuff, and tried to get some people out and have a chat. So I think just getting at your comfort zone in that sense and pushing yourself to go say hi.
Yeah, definitely. I think also you're surrounded by so many other people that are doing that as well. So it kind of makes it like a little bit easier, doesn't it, to really push yourself. I'm sorry, I'm just going to go back to the comments because I can see Edmund's having trouble, I think, with something postgraduate wise. So I think the best thing to do would be to ping an email to inquiries@lincoln.ac.uk just to make sure we can get you right, through to the right department for that. I'm sure Jamie or someone can pop that in the comments on the screen for you. But yeah, sorry, I just wanted to make sure I addressed that quickly. But yeah, I totally agree with you. I think being, kind of push yourself out of your comfort zone and keeping your door open, it's just the nice little things like that really help. I think something that I noticed quite a lot was like my neighbours in first year were quite social as well. I'm not very social with my neighbours at the moment. We don't really see each other that much. But when you're at uni, you're in like the same halls. Your neighbours are literally across the hall in a different apartment. And in the end, towards I'd say October, December time in my first year, I was pretty much just in their kitchen all the time instead of mine. So I managed to actually make friends with the apartment across the hall as well as my own apartment. And actually in second and third year, we all lived together in a big house share as well. So that was something that really took me by surprise. I had no idea I was going to make good friends with the neighbours as well. I just focused on the course and my flatmates without even thinking about that concept. So there's loads of different things, isn't there, really, that can happen whilst you're at uni.
Yeah, that's brilliant. Also got a brilliant comment from Holly. Holly Hughes, if everyone goes to Gateway, I'm good at making pasta dishes. That is the flatmate that you want. When I first went to uni, it was ready meals all the way. It was awful. I don't know how I survived. So definitely could have done with living with a Holly Hughes, I think. The other thing that really helps with making friends when you go to university is societies. And I know we had a brief chat about this before, and Mark, I don't think you actually joined the society.
No. Sorry, guys, I didn't. Sorry, Georgia.
But I briefly joined Harry Potter Society, set up by a flatmate who I met in first year, actually, and still friends with today, still really good friends with today, actually. And he set up the society, and I joined. I was proudly head of Gryffindor for a while, which was very cool. And there was so many people that joined that society, so many people, and they were just lovely, just lovely people. It's huge recommendation, really, I think, for anyone wanting to make friends at university to join a society. And we'll talk a little bit more about societies when we ask you a few more questions about the role you do, Georgia, at the end. But tell us about what you did with societies. I think you set a society up as well, didn't you?
Yeah, so in my first year, kind of end of first year, I lived with a guy called Andrew, and he really liked fencing. And we didn't have a fencing society yet at the uni. So one thing that he kind of did is worked with the union and kind of got all the papers in order. But to set up a society or a sport or anything like that, you need 3 key positions, which is the president, the vice president, and treasurer. And that's just to make sure they can run well. And he basically walked into the kitchen in like March, April of our first year and was like, right, I finally got everything in order. I need these committee positions. I was like, yeah, okay, being a vice president sounds like a cool thing to do. So we ended up joining the committee, and we started the first fencing society at Lincoln. We competed in varsity. Our women's team won books in our second year of running and won every single competition they partook in, which was so cool. And we just really enjoyed it. And then in my third year, I stepped back from the fencing society to give someone else kind of a chance. I think I fenced probably about 5 times during my time there. It was more for the social element, to be quite honest, but it's very enjoyable. But then in my third year, I joined Drama Sock, which is really cool. I've acted pretty much all of my life, and I'd not found out about it for a while. And then I think I saw like one of the performance leaflets or something up around campus, and I joined. I was in 2 performances during my year. I got to do my dream role, which was really cool. But yeah, it was just nice to do. Met so many people, and I think in your third year as well. And I don't know if you two agree with this, but it's not just a case of you meet people in your first year and then those are the people that you stick with for the year. You meet people like year on year, depending on the different groups you go to, different groups in like your course and things like that. I went from having my flatmates and my housemates and my fencing friends to, then having this entire new group. So just constantly meeting people.
Yeah, completely agree with that. Definitely throughout your journey with university, there's many opportunities that will open up to allow you to meet new people. Any regrets about not joining the society, Mark?
Oh, yeah, so many regrets. And I think I regret it even more now that I'm not a student. You kind of take it for granted, don't you? You don't quite realise like how lucky you are to have access to that. So yeah, I do regret it, especially after hearing about what you said, Georgia, as well. So.
But the other thing as well is the events that we have. Some run by the SU, some run by the university, and I think Freshers Week is a huge thing when you start. You can meet lots of people through the events there, and there's a whole range of stuff that we'll talk about later. But Mark, in your first week, did you get involved in many of the events that were available, and did you meet people through them?
Yeah. So obviously I mentioned Link Dog, which was more course related at the time. But yeah, I went to like the Freshers Fair and stuff. And one thing I do always remember is people always trying to like sell me posters. So my bedroom was like covered in posters. But yeah, so the Freshers Fair was like great though. So it's in the engine shed. There's like lots of loud music and stuff, and everyone's spirits were like really high, and it was just so good. There were so many people to talk to. It was like it's just weird because it's like a proper event for anyone that's gone to school fairs or whatever. It was like that, but it was like a party atmosphere as well. It was really, really good. And actually, I hope you don't mind, I'm just going to go back to the comments because Morgan's asked a really good question that I think you might be able to answer, Georgia. How many societies can you join? Because obviously when I was at the Freshers Fair, that's when you could sign up. So really, I should have actually signed up to them there. But we've got quite a few, haven't we?
Yeah, so we have loads of different hundreds of societies, sports and academic societies. You can join as many as you want, whether that's 1, whether that's 10. It really doesn't matter how many you sign up to. I chose kind of to stick with 1 a year just because I like to prioritise making sure I was fully involved in that society at the time, but also had plenty of time to do my degree. I worked part-time throughout my time at uni as well, so I wanted to make sure I could dedicate plenty of time. But there's loads of people, especially like in sports, that will join quite a few different sporting teams and things like that. So there's so much to get involved in.
Yeah. Definitely. And I know I mentioned the Freshers Fair itself, but just with regards to Freshers Week, there was more than just that. You could get your wristband and go on like your nights out and stuff. And I think there was random sort of like activities that you could do as well. And I'm sure Darren might be able to reflect more on it because my memory is terrible right now. But I just remember each time Freshers Week came round, I obviously joined it again, but obviously as a second year student, third year student. So I always tried to take part in whatever I could, even though I wasn't like a first year student for every single year, if that makes sense. So that was good as well, because you always had opportunities to like take part each year.
Yeah, I think it's great for meeting new people, but also developing your friendships with the people you've met on your course or whatnot. You have these events available so you can go together. And we had a really good question from Holly Hughes. did you guys have any hotspots you used to travel to with your friends? Well, there's quite a few things you can do. You can travel to in the city itself. I really liked going to. All right, there's two places I would say. Firstly, McDonald's. Other restaurants are available, but it is almost in the middle of campus. It is so close to courts and lots of other accommodation. It's so close to campus. It's almost on it. So that's a nice place to go with your friends after studying or whatnot. The other place is the Swan. I really like the Swan, which is in the middle of campus, run by the SU, I believe now. George's, yeah. So any money you put into it goes back to the SU, and it's a really nice place. It's like a pub atmosphere. So you've got your drinks and your meals and stuff, but there's events that happen there as well. So they're my two favourites, I think. What about yourself, Mark?
So I had a couple of friends in second and third year that bought a car to uni, so that was handy. And Lincolnshire itself is a really big county, and there's so many things to do. So obviously Lincoln's great. You know, we've got so much in Lincoln. I don't want to deter away from that at all, but you've got some really quirky things as well, just in the county itself. One thing that I hope I get the name right. One thing I did really like was you guys might have heard of it, Kinema in the Woods. So it's literally so smart. I don't want to not trying to like promote them obviously, but it was just so unique and quirky. Like it was literally a cinema in the woods. I think Horncastle Way, I'm not entirely sure, but it was so like old fashioned and cool, and you'd go in and there'd be like really retro memorabilia in there, and it was like stepping back into what I imagine, I don't know, like the 1940s, whatever. It's really cool. And I think partway through the film, someone usually plays like the piano or something on the stage. Like it's just really, really quirky. So I really enjoyed that. And also in the summer, going to the beach, so like and things was really good as well. So I quite enjoyed the parts just across the county as a whole as well. But definitely there's loads to do in Lincoln as well.
Yeah. Did you have any favourite places, Georgia?
Yeah, so obviously all the venues, I think the SU itself has like 4 venues, a couple of them merged together, so around 4. We have the Swan, which Darren mentioned, which is definitely my favourite as well. The mozzarella and pesto panini, for anyone that's going by, is the absolute one to go for food. But we've also now got a delivery app, so if you're in about, you like the food, but you don't want to leave your flat, you can go and get it that way. There's also Towers, which is more of like a sporting type bar, so it's where a lot of our sports and clubs and all that kind of stuff will go for pre-drinks or anything like that, or just a nice like club meal. We've got the Barge, which is like a fancy cocktail. It's literally a bar.
I love the Barge. I love that.
And whenever I'm introducing it, and anyone who's ever seen my welcome talks will like, can we have the Barge? Which is
it's so good. It's really fancy as well, isn't it? I'm going to sound so stupid here, but I don't know what it was. They put like a little flower or whatever like on the top of my cocktail. It looked like really cute. I was like, oh my god, I love it here. It's so nice.
Yeah, and they have a really good selection of like mocktails and stuff as well. So if you want the fancy but the alcohol, good for that. I've just seen Henry's question as well in terms of clubs and options for going out. Obviously, there's all the Students' Union venues and things like that, which absolutely check out. We do loads of freshers events, but I think we're talking about that a little bit later, so I won't want to steal the limelight on that one just yet. But there's plenty of different clubs and things like that throughout the city as well. So there's kind of like 3 major club nights, which is Quack, which is the Union one. There's something called Union, which is in the centre of town, and then Bull, which is on a Friday night. And these are like your 3 main student kind of evenings that you go on. And they're all in 3 different big venues in town. There's loads of pubs. There's so much good food. If you really like tapas, there's like 3 different incredible tapas restaurants, which for Lincoln, in the middle of Lincoln, maybe shouldn't be the selling point, but it absolutely is because it's fantastic.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, 100%. When you guys can, you'll have to come and check them out, definitely. Right, so I think we're going to move on now. I feel like we could talk forever about this part and tapas alone, let's face it. But we're going to move on to the Friends for Life section now. So I know some of you asked in the comments about, you know, how you find friends on your course, etc. And some of you have put your courses in the comments as well, which I really appreciate. So please keep doing that if you can. That would be really great. And just say hello or any questions as we go on as well. But Darren, I'm going to put you under a lot of pressure here and ask you all about Friends for Life, because I feel like you're the expert with it. So I think just to help everyone that's watching get an idea for it, you know, what is Friends for Life? How would you describe it for people that don't know what it is?
Yeah, that's a really good question. I mean, I think the way to describe it is I think we describe it as an initiative sometimes, but it's basically a thing that we've developed to help all applicants to connect with other applicants before they arrive. And so there's a sign-up process and stuff, which I'll go through in a little bit. But we obviously, because we've been through the same thing, so we understand that joining university can be quite daunting. Like we've just said, you might be leaving your friendship groups behind, and you want to create new ones, create new relationships, and you want to. I mean, wouldn't it be nice if you could go to university and already know someone there? And it might be someone who it could be just a course mate, a flatmate that you're already connected with, or maybe someone with other interests. So I mean, that's basically, in a summary, it's just there to help you connect with other applicants before you arrive here, really.
That's amazing. And I think all three of us can agree that that's such a handy thing to have, such a handy tool. And I know, well, I did it the old-fashioned way because I'm feeling old talking about all of this stuff. I obviously, you know, trawled Facebook and tried to find people that were living in my accommodation. So this sounds perfect, really. And oh, sorry, I was just going to say. Oh, you go.
So I was just going to say I did the same thing. You sort of back in our day. Not that we're not that old, but back in our day,
I didn't know any of the nights Georgia was on about. So
we had to search manually for Court 10, apartment, blah blah blah, University of Lincoln. Try and find a group that someone might have set up. But the way this works is that we do a lot of that for you. So I'll go through the.
Sorry, I was just going to say, because I don't know if you've seen it, Darren, but I was going to ask again for any courses that you're hoping to do or applying for. And Alexa, I hope I pronounced that correctly, has actually posted in the comments that they want to study music, but also that they're hoping to stay at St. Mark's, or they're staying at St. Mark's. So hopefully that might be a good starting point for you, Darren, for what you're about to show us.
Yeah, brilliant. And anyone else studying music, let us know and connect. You can connect up with Alexia while we're in the talk today. But anyone else watching, please do let us know what course you applied for or going to be applying for. I think just looking through the comments as well, I think we might have.
I think Holly said law and criminology. I made a little note here. So I think she said law and criminology. I think we had Edmund who was looking at business. So I definitely saw business somewhere in the comments as well.
Yeah, I think you're right.
I look film production.
Film production as well. So everyone keep placing, letting us know what course you've applied for, and hopefully what we'd like to do is do what we do with the Friends for Life initiative, and try and pair people together and connect people based on your course. But the way Friends for Life works is you subscribe to a mailer, and that kicks everything off. So in that subscription, you tell us what course you've applied for. You tell us some interests, you tell us your email and that sort of thing. And what we do is using our official applicants' social media accounts, we create regular conversation starters and spaces for students or applicants to connect before you arrive. And we do that as a long process from it started already, and it goes all the way until Welcome Week, till Freshers Week. And so the idea is that you already know someone, or you've built a relationship with someone, a friendship with someone before you even get here. So it could be that, one of the things we do is we create the official course groups for all our applicants. And this is where it would have helped us, Mark. And so we create the official groups. You don't need to go finding them or setting them up. You just need to sign up to Friends for Life, and throughout the long process, we'll make sure that you're aware of these groups and that you can join them and say hello to your future course mates. And we also have conversation starters and other groups based on interests. So if you tell us that you're a fan of Harry Potter, we will do Harry Potter conversation starters, and we will make sure to invite anyone who selected Harry Potter as an interest. So that way you can sort of get to know the people who you would get along with before you're here. Yeah, thank you, Morgan. I think it's a really good initiative. We get lots of students apply and subscribe every year. And one of the best things about it, I think, is when your accommodation placements are sort of revealed, when you find out where you're going to be staying, we create the official groups for those accommodations as well. So if you signed up ready for that, then you'll be ready to receive the email about it once you know where you're going to be staying. So we'll do most of the legwork, and all you have to do is just say hello to your sort of future flatmates and get to know them already. You never know, if you're lucky, you might have Holly, who might be cooking you some pasta every now and again. But what I might do, Mark, is just really quickly show you how, the subscription process.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
Yeah, I've got a brief PowerPoint slide, which I'll just show you. Thank you. So it's pretty simple. So all you need to do is go to lincoln.ac.uk/friends, and you'll see a page exactly like this. And all you have to do is click Get Started. Tell us your name, your course, so there'll be a drop-down box which will allow you to put your course in. Tell us your email address, but also it allows you to select some interests as well, which we'll use to try and connect you with other applicants with similar interests. So there's a lot of interests, which does help us. But as you can see, if you're a fan of the comedy genre of films, select that. If you're a Harry Potter fan or a FIFA fan or a gaming fan, you can select that. You can select as many as you want. So this really does help us to connect you with the other people that you share.
So many, isn't there? There's so many.
There is, and it's so helpful.
I feel like I need more interests.
Yeah, I feel like that when we're setting it up. But yeah, there's a lot to choose from, and if you scroll down, I mean, that's not all of them. You can scroll down, and there's a few more as well. And then that's pretty much it. You just need to click Join Friends for Life. You'll get a few automated emails that will ask you to progress with double opt-in and things like that. But that's pretty much the process. And so I'll leave that slide for now. But all you need to do after that is just keep a lookout for emails from us, from our Friends for Life mailer, and join any groups that we share with you, and just say hello to other applicants when you get your emails. I think we do a lot of the work in giving you these sort of spaces to do this, but I think one of the main things that you can really do is just say hello to people. If you make that first step, because like we've said, a lot of people are nervous at this point. But yeah, I think that just do that first step, say hello, be the first to say hello, and that's all you'll need to really kickstart that friendship, I think, before you do arrive. How helpful would that have been, Mark?
Oh, it would be so helpful, definitely. And I think back then I still would have questioned how many interests I actually have. But yeah, it would have been so helpful, definitely. Because I mean, the way we did it, Darren, I still found most of my flatmates and connected with people. And there was a couple of people that I just chatted to, and then we weren't even living in the same space, but we just bumped into each other, on Facebook and stuff, in similar groups, trying to find people, and we all made good friends still. So I think if I had that tool, it would be even better, like I imagine anyway, because it would just be enhanced, wouldn't it? So yeah, I think that'd be great. I'm just going to do my usual and go back to the comments. I hope you don't mind, Darren. We've had Ethan ask about accommodations. What accommodation would you recommend for an art student. So just from my own student experience and what I know, I just say I wouldn't really focus on your course as like a reason for what accommodation you want to go for. I just explore the accommodations themselves and have a look. You tend to find with I think all of our courses, it's just a mix of students. I mean, I was doing, as I said, audio, but it was in the School of Film and Media, and there were a couple of students in my apartment block that were in that school as well. One of the girls across the hall was doing film production. So it's just a mix. And then we had loads of different students though. So I think if you want to look at accommodation more, definitely pop on the website or email our accommodation team and chat to them. But I would say there's plenty more to focus on when you're trying to find your accommodation. Would you agree, Darren?
Yeah, totally agree. I think one of the unique things about the university and its campus is that it's a city centre campus, but everything is so close together.
You'll be close to your building anyway.
Yeah. Absolutely. And sometimes the off-campus accommodation is closer to where you'll be than the on-campus accommodation. And that's not because some are further than others. It's just that is how close everything is. So I wouldn't necessarily worry too much about that. Did you have any thoughts on that as well, Georgia?
Yeah, I was just going to say, I think one of the nice things about accommodation is obviously a course. You'll see those people for the next 3 years, 4 years, however long your program is. So it can be quite nice to live with a mix of people when you actually move in. I was the only art student, I think, in my first year accommodation. And then when I moved on in my second and third year, I was again the only art student. We had pretty much a student from each of the different colleges. So it's quite nice to have like a mix of people, because then that you've always got a different friendship group to go to, and you've always got a different perspective. I think especially when you get to like writing dissertations and things, it's quite nice to be able to like bounce ideas off of people for assessments that don't have a clue what you're talking about. So it's quite nice, I think, to keep things like varied. Another reason why it's nice to join like societies, clubs and groups and things like that, because it's a completely different group of people that you're probably not going to see naturally throughout your uni experience. So yeah, I wouldn't worry too much. If you're wanting a fancy, nice looking accommodation, most of the ones on campus are really pretty. Valentine Court is my new particular favourite, and I'm absolutely fuming that it's only been built in the last couple of years, because I would have loved to live there.
Yeah. I think there's so much, isn't there? We've all got our favourites. There's just so much to choose from, because I'm the same. There's a couple which I'm like, oh, I wish they were there when I was a student.
Like arts and architecture and things like that. I stayed in Gainsgate, and one of our kitchens looked up to the cathedral, so lovely. But if you want like an actually nice looking building, I don't think we have any bad looking buildings though.
No, they're all great.
Yeah, everything how pretty it has to fit.
Yeah, there's a new St Mark's development as well, which we did a preview of in our last live lounge as well. So I'll have a scroll through our Facebook page to find that. We did a little bit of a tour of that, which is pretty cool. But if you do have any questions about accommodation, have a look at the banner down the bottom. There's contact details there for our amazing accommodation team who will be able to help you with those. I did forget to mention at the beginning that for those students who are joining and maybe you'll find it quite difficult to make that first step to make friends, maybe you're feeling a little bit lonely or just missing home, we do have an amazing wellbeing service and a wellbeing team who are here to help. And when you enroll, those services will be made very clear to you, but they are available on our website now. But that does lead us on to the SU, Georgia. So could you tell us a little bit about what the SU do for students and the support that is available for them as well, and perhaps in terms of in general, but also how you could help to, if someone's feeling a little bit lonely, perhaps?
Yeah, absolutely. So I've already mentioned sports and societies and our nights out and things, and I think quite a lot of people think that is what an SU is, and like that's it. But we have so many networks of students that kind of work with us to represent students. An SU is kind of their focus is basically to represent students and to help you out there. So we have the campaigns group, for instance, and this is a group of individuals who are all like activists on different kind of levels and different interest areas. We have a women's campaigns group, an LGBT plus. So there's plenty of stuff to get involved in if you're not wanting to, be directly involved in an activity as such, or if like Mark, you're kind of like, what are my hobbies at this stage, kind of thing. I know I was the exact same when I first started. My interests were acting, and that was pretty much it, in history. So I was struggling a little bit for extra things to get involved in there. So, those types of groups are really good to be involved in. They put on events and different engagement activities. As a students' union ourselves, we have events on a weekly basis. Even during the pandemic, we've had quizzes, we've had Netflix watch parties, and kind of different things to get involved in there. When we're back on campus, and very excited to say that this year's students will also see it back on campus before the end of the year. We'll have like in-person quizzes. We have the big Freshers quiz, which is always on like the Friday or Thursday of Freshers Week every single year. And that's so cool to get involved in, because especially if you're one of those people who's not yet made friends, or your friendship group at your flat's quite small, it's good to go and meet some more people there and get involved there. The campaigns group, like I said, if you're an international student, we have an international student buddy scheme, which is basically where international students can sign up and home students can sign up, and we all partner you up, kind of like similar to the Friends for Life scheme in terms of getting people talking and stuff. But we'll sign you up as basically like pen pals. And then you're able to kind of like use your home student to figure out a bit more about Lincoln and about living in the UK. And obviously for home students, it's a great way to find out a bit about different cultures and, meet friends as well. So there's so many different kind of schemes and initiatives like that there will be something that you want to get involved in there. Always recommend having a little look through the website before you pop through, because it's nice to just see kind of the things that we're up to. We have a little bit of a kind of freshers type lineup that's happening in June. So if you want to kind of have a look at what we usually do, in October when you join, you can have a little bit of a preview there. But yeah, loads of stuff to get involved. If you're more of the academic type as well, something that I did my third year and was involved throughout my degree, I was a rep on my programme, and I was a school rep as well. So I got involved that way because I loved history, loved representing students, hence why I'm here. But I found it was really good to kind of get involved in something I was already doing. So yeah, there's so much to get involved in. I won't keep going on and hog the full question. But
no, that's great. That's great, because there is so much that is available, so much support and opportunity. It is fantastic. And I think it would be great to talk a little bit more about the societies available as well. But if anyone watching, if you have already had a look at the societies that are available, please let us know which ones you hope to join, because there are so many. So yeah, the link is below actually, if you do want to have a little look. But if you've already had a look and you already know you're definitely going to join the Harry Potter Society, or you're definitely going to join a photography society, please do let us know. But Georgia, could you tell us a little bit about the range of societies, but also some of the really cool things that they do as well?
Yeah, absolutely. So we basically put all of our societies and sports into a group, which is the activities, but we have 3 different sections within that. So first there's sports, and in sports we have fencing, rugby, football, lacrosse. There's pretty much anything that you can think of. And the great thing as well with students' unions, if we don't do something that you want to do, like myself in first year with fencing, it's really simple to set up a new activity. But there's loads of different options there. And then sports as well, the good thing that we do is we enter into BUCS, which is the British Universities and Colleges competition. I always forget what it actually stands for, but
sounds all right.
It's basically like the major competition all university students in the UK partake in, and you'll compete with students up and down the country, and you'll travel to games here and in their university centre as well. And we help encourage things like friendlies. There's another university as well, BGU, in Lincoln, and we sometimes will collaborate with them to do different things. So there's plenty of opportunities there. On the societies front, like I said, I was part of drama. There's big band. So if you like music, I think we have 4 different music societies. And that's from big band, which is actually playing music, indie society, which is kind of more appreciation for indie music and getting involved. And there's so many different options. And then there's, I just seen Gotta Be the Disney Sock in the comments. We do have a Disney Society. We have a fandom society as well. So if you're like a fan of pretty much anything, you can join them, and they chat about all that kind of stuff, including Harry Potter. Darren, you'll be happy to know. And then the third kind of category is academic societies, which are societies that kind of align with the programs that you do. So there's history, business, psychology. I think we have 24 at the moment, and we're looking to get one for every program, or at least every school. And they're really great to join as well. They do events like meeting your academic staff and finding out about their research, which is really cool. Guest speakers. Societies will put on quizzes, socials, that kind of stuff. Sports, obviously, will train and then go and do their sport. But they also do things like socials and team teas and stuff. So there's so much to get involved in. I think just the activity that you do, the actual events that they do are so much wider. So loads of stuff.
So much. It's just like the interest again. There's so much. I love how passionate you are about it as well. It's great. I've got a question about societies quickly. So probably one for Holly. But could Holly do a pasta society if she wanted to? Could she actually get a group of pasta lovers together?
Absolutely. So we currently have a society called Breads and Spreads, which isn't pasta.
Yes, I've heard of that.
Different types of breads, different types of spreads.
Yeah. That's amazing.
Yeah,
that's amazing.
We have the Wine and Cheese Society as well. I think that's a new
one.
But yeah, Holly, if you want to start a pasta society, I will definitely as an associate member next year and join.
Challenge accepted. I feel like we've covered so much, but I just really, to anything that we've missed, really, I just wanted to ask if you could just explain just a little bit about Freshers Week a bit more, because I know we touched upon it, but just, really what happens. And with that being said as well, the kind of events as well that are available for students by the SU just throughout the year as well. I know you probably mentioned a few of them, but just anything else really that you feel would be worth mentioning.
Absolutely. Quickly, Morgan, there is a Lincoln Film and Media Society, so that encompasses everything. So yes, in terms of the events, then, so Freshers Week itself is made up, obviously, of a full week of events, and it runs over to a second week because the university also runs Welcome Week and then like a actual classes started week, so we align it with all that. During Freshers, we have an opening night, which is a club night, so that's everyone can come and see the venues, can come and get drinks, It's basically the night where you wait for your parents to leave you finally, after taking you for your Morrison shop or your Aldi shop, and let you kind of mill about and talk to your friends. So there's an opening night, and there's different actual kind of club nights out across the city as well as in the venues throughout that week and throughout the year. I mentioned briefly at the start Quack, which is, Quack as in the duck quack. Our weekly club night at the SU, so on campus, super simple to get to, and that's every single Wednesday. We have little rubber ducks, and I thought I had one near me and I can't find it now. We have little rubber ducks that we throw out on stage, so it's always a good one to get. They're basically like collectible items on campus, so definitely get involved there. I also mentioned the big quiz, and that's held during Freshers Week, and that's honestly the biggest quiz you will ever see on campus, but maybe just in general. We have teams of students that will come, and there's loads of big prizes. We pretty much give away a different console every year. So if you haven't got your PS5 yet, might be a good one to join when you first get here. Hopefully we can get his hands on one of those. We do cinema nights as well. We bought a massive outdoor cinema setup. So if the weather's good, we usually get that rolled out with blankets and things like that so you can watch it. But we also have it in the engine shed if it's too chilly. So always options there. And those are things, to be honest, that we do throughout the year, but we put pretty much every event that we have all into that week. And the only kind of other main thing to mention, like Mark said, is the Fresher fairs that we have. So we have one that will teach you about the outside kind of community, and we get Morrison's to come in, Domino's, they give away freebies, and you can find out about Lincoln specifically. And then we have one for all societies and that kind of stuff, which you can actually kind of meet the society committees and see what you want to join, all that kind of thing. I know Morgan just asked if it's different because of COVID. With the new restrictions, hopefully it will be back to kind of, all guns blazing kind of thing, and the big nights out back in October. But even this year, we were able to still put on in-person events. It was just a bit more sat down, a little bit calmer, but there was still so much to get involved in. And we still made sure that you had all the opportunities to see all that kind of stuff. But yeah, and that stuff we just do throughout the year. So there's always something on.
There is. I think it's important to say that, you know, some of the stuff we've mentioned is obviously pending government guidance, but we are hoping that that we can run some of the amazing stuff that you've just been describing, Georgia. I think that'd be fantastic. Just got a really couple of quick comments that had come through. The first one, trying to find it, I think was from Holly. I think this is more for you, Georgia. Will we see you guys around campus? Holly asks. And I think for your team, Georgia, your team is very approachable. I mean, you have your support centre, which is a walk-in. Would you just tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, absolutely. So, Holly, if you ever see someone on campus wearing red, that is probably someone from the Students' Union. Myself, I'm one of the student leaders, and I'm a team of 5. So we're always on campus, and you're able to see us. Obviously, it's that restrictions pending kind of thing. But in any normal year, we're either in one of the venues, having some cheesy chips, or we're somewhere on campus, so you can see us at all time. Like Darren said as well, we do have opportunities for walk-ins. So we have the Advice Centre, which is there for advice on financial, housing. We can help work with the Wellbeing Centre as well if you're confused about where to go. We basically, all of our services on campus kind of work together to make sure you get to the right place. So even if you walk through the wrong door, we can put you in the direction of the right one. But yeah, so we're a very student-friendly campus. Everything's very open and easy to bump into people.
Brilliant. And really running out of time, so I'll just take one more quick question, which is about, we have 2 really about Freshers Week, and it's about booking Freshers events. What usually happens? You usually have to book, or do you walk in? What can you say about that?
So for Freshers events, absolutely book. Tickets sell out super quick, but once you've signed up to the university and we know you're coming, we'll send out those emails so you know kind of where to book. But as soon as you know you're coming to Lincoln, join the Facebook page for the Students' Union and the university, and you'll see all the links for them. We do have the ability for you to walk in for normal events when they're not as busy, but Freshers Week is the biggest week on campus, so it sells out super quick, especially, like Mark said, we're 2nd and 3rd year students that want to really usually more eager on the mouse when they come out, but absolutely book as quick as you can. But if you don't worry, there's plenty of stuff to go to, so you'll make something.
Cool, thank you. And we are really running out of time, so I think let's do some really quick fire tips, advice for students for making friends for university. For me, it's join Friends for Life, obviously, but say hello. Be the first to say hello. If no one else has said hello yet, be the first to introduce yourself and kickstart that friendship already. Mark, what would you say?
I think, like I said earlier, just be open-minded, but also don't compare yourself to others. Everyone's going to go at their own pace when they're making friends at uni. Just enjoy the experience and make the most of the support that's out there if you do need it as well. But yeah, just live in the moment. It's great. I'm jealous. I'd like to go back in time. I'm not going to lie. But Georgia, what about yourself? What final advice would you give?
No, absolutely. I think don't compare yourself to what you see on TV and what you hear of your siblings. I think everyone's university experience is good because it's your experience and no one else's. Join societies, join sports. You can experience them all for free during Freshers Week as well for trials and things, so you can go and see how that works. But yeah, if you're in doubt as well, just go put yourself in one of the venues and go and have like a pint and walk over to some people, see how things are going. But yeah, just fresh start. I think that's what uni always is, and it's your time to be able to kind of put yourself out your comfort zone and get to meet some new people. So make the most of it.
Definitely.
Brilliant. Thank you so much. Thank you, Mark. Thank you, Georgia, for joining us and telling us all about the SU, and thank you for sharing your experiences. Everyone who's watched, please do, once this is finished, take a look back through the comments and find those other applicants who might have said they're interested in the same thing, or that they have actually applied for the same course as you, and start building those connections already. We're just going to ask our producer to paste the link to all our official school subject Facebook groups in there. So once that has been shared in that group, then you'll be able to click on them, find your group, and join and start. Just say hello, like like we said, it's the first step to starting your friendships before you even arrive. So please do that. Also, sign up to Friends for Life and look out for those emails from us. But for more information about the university and studying here at the University of Lincoln, we have the virtual open day next week on the 11th of March. So please do go to our website if you haven't booked onto that. If you haven't come to one yet, please do book on, and you'll find out more. You might even have a little sneak peek into St. Mark's again. I think we might be trying to do that once more. And also there is an extra special live lounge next week on the 10th at 4 p.m. with Dr. Alex George, who's a former Love Island star and recently been announced as the Youth Mental Health Ambassador as well, which is brilliant. And he's going to be joining us and speaking with our wellbeing team and talking about the importance of well-being and mental health at university, and probably sharing some brilliant tips and advice. So that's pretty much it for today. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you so much for listening. Please follow all the advice that we've shared. Say hello to your future uni mates, and we'll hopefully see you soon. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone. Good luck. Thank you.